There is a lot of talk about plans for downtown, and our next guest is going to discuss the real estate aspect of it. Please welcome the president of I Sell the City Real Estate, Jorge Verdugo.
Well, hey, what's up, man?
Not much, Derek. How you doing?
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Great to have you back on the different set here today.
Yes, love the set.
Still talking downtown. Still talking about I Sell the City.
Still talking downtown. Still talking about I Sell the City. So many exciting things happening down there.
Well, yeah, you guys have your new office right there on Market Street in the Mark. That's awesome. That's got to feel good.
Very exciting. Very exciting. I think we had been patiently waiting for the right opportunity to open a retail space so that we could expose our brand to the world on the street level, and I think we've accomplished that. I think Market Street is one of the main corridors for our target market, which is the people that are living downtown. So we're lucky enough to have grabbed a place at the Mark, and we're excited to see what the next 10 years have for us.
Yeah, and you know, you're not far from Starbucks there, which is always good.
Exactly.
And you're close proximity to a liquor store too. So whatever you're doing, okay, I don't care if you're getting your caffeine on or if you're getting your nightlife on, you know, you're gonna see I Sell the City down there.
Yeah, sometimes you need to come up and sometimes you need to relax. So, you know.
And in different orders for different people.
Exactly.
A lot's going on in downtown.
Yes.
A lot. This is a market I've been studying for a long time. I feel like I know it really well. Lived in M2I for 5 years. And we see a lot of things happening with, you know, construction moving out east. You know, the East Village, the old East Village is now really central. I mean, when I lived in M2I, that was sort of the edge, right? 11th was the edge of what was savory and unsavory in East Village.
Yes.
And if you went east of 11th, you were in unsavory East Village. That's changed. The library helped a lot, but now also we're seeing the construction push out further into East Village, and I think that the old East Village is really going to be central. I think there's some really good buys in there in places like M2I and Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the East Village is one of the neighborhoods that attracts the most diverse demographic. You have people that are young professionals that are moving to the East Village to experience the urban environment for the first time. And you have people that have already been in the urban environment before that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that aren't done shaking and moving, you know? They don't want to live in the suburbs and walk at night and hear crickets. They want to hear a lively atmosphere. They want to, you know, be within close proximity to all of those places that they love to enjoy for dinner and drinks and art and music and theater. So, you know, being that the East Village is one of the, you know, largest areas that still has room for expansion in downtown, we're seeing a lot of growth down there.
Yeah, well, the Idea District, also something that's coming. You know, the Downtown San Diego Partnership is working really hard on trying to recruit companies to come be a part of this Idea District, which is like a Barrio Logan.
That's
area.
correct.
So I don't know if we would really call that downtown or not, but
you know, it's
very close.
Yeah, it's definitely in the zip code, and the idea behind the Idea District, which is now in phase one, Idea 1, was to create jobs. It's an urban initiative to create jobs in the tech industry and in the creative space. And with this new phase, they're rolling out 5,000 square foot of retail and restaurant space. They have 292 entry-level units coming in the form of apartments. They also have about 8,000 square feet of creative office space. So they're really making a push to bring some tech downtown, bring in some of those bigger companies that are going to help us grow in the future by bringing more residents that will be permanent downtowners.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
It is, because I think that's an important part of the phase. You know, a lot of people want to live close to where they work. And especially if you like the idea of living in an urban setting, you really are going to want to, I mean, your ideal situation is going to be to work somewhere near there, not too far. Now, you know, I've worked in Mission, when I lived in downtown, I worked in Mission Valley. That wasn't a big deal at all. There's places near downtown that you can commute to that is not a bad commute. But if you could walk, so like, you know, the Semper building that went in, right there by the ballpark, what is it, 8th? Is that on 8th?
Yeah, so you have, it's between 8th and 7th.
So, yeah, between
on
7th
J
and 8th,
Street.
on J. That big building that went in there, that's a lot. That's what a lot of jobs in that building right there. Those are a lot of people who one day might go, you know what? I think I'm going to buy a place here at Ballpark Lofts because I could walk to work and I can enjoy this all the time. Wouldn't have to leave at the end of the day. So the more industry that we can get in downtown, the more draw we'll have for the residential real estate. Because right now, downtown real estate, I think, is still pretty decently priced. It's not like a lot of other places in the market. It might be higher than maybe what it should be, or maybe than what it's been in the past. But it's not like some of these other suburban areas where prices are just through the roof and you can't believe it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that has happened in downtown is that we have a lot of people who work downtown but live outside of downtown, so they're commuting into downtown for work and then leaving to go back home. And then we have a lot of people that live downtown and commute out for work and then come back home to downtown. And Sempra is one of the first few companies to create an environment where, like you said, a lot of those people are gonna get a feel for the downtown environment and are gonna make the option to make downtown their home. I personally have been downtown as a resident for 12 years, and I never thought I'd be there that long, but when I established myself in real estate in downtown and I started walking to work every day, and not having to deal with commuting and never putting more than 7,000 miles on my car every year, I really can relate to the convenience of pushing the elevator button and your commute starting the moment you walk out the front door of your building. You know, it's nice, to say the least.
Be honest, commuting sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It sucks the life out of you.
Well, until the car drives you.
Even then, you're still in prison for an hour,
Yes.
or however long it is that your commute is. I mean, in an hour both ways. I know so many people do an hour both ways, or 45 minutes on a good day, you know, and then 2 hours on a bad day. And it sucks the life out of you. So now let's imagine this urban atmosphere that the Downtown Partnership and what just sort of is unfolding in downtown. Imagine a situation where you don't need a car. You've got Uber. Live here, work here, can walk to grocery stores and everything. What the Ritz-Carlton and Whole Foods are going to be in East Village in a few years. Jimbo's is already there. You've got Ralph's. You've got Grocery Outlet. You've got a lot of different places that you can go to get everything you need. You don't need to go anywhere. Huge mall. So you can walk to everything that you need, to your work, to your home, and to everything you need to buy. Now, do you really need a car anymore?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because a lot of the new developers that are building some of the smaller infill projects, the talk on the street is that in order to make living, or at least the entry level living, more affordable, they are actually coming up with projects that include very little to no parking, and kind of forcing people to try to imagine themselves living without a car and testing out those waters and figuring out what life would be without owning a vehicle. And I think especially young professionals are really drawn to it because they're tired of wasting money on insurance, they're tired of wasting money on gas, they're tired of wasting money on maintenance, and they realize that most of the stuff that they're interested in is happening within walking distance of their location. So, you know, we're not the only people talking about, you know, driverless cars or, you know, parking being an issue. Developers are seeing that, and they actually feel like there's a trend where people aren't going to want cars or need parking.
Yeah. Well, one thing we don't have in San Diego is a great metro setup, right? We don't have a good metro setup.
That's correct.
The metro setup we have is barely acceptable. So because of that, you know, you see lots of issues with parking and driving and things, but Uber's been huge. I could totally see, because I lived in downtown for 5 years. If my work had been down there, I would have been one of those people would have got rid of the car. 2 seconds. Even if I'm Ubering and it's costing me the same as it was costing me to own a car, I don't ever have to take it in for maintenance and then figure out how to get a ride somewhere or whatever. I don't have to worry about it breaking down on me and me being stuck on the side of the road or getting a flat tire or any of those things that are sort of the question mark items that you never know when it's going to happen, but you know at some point it's going to happen.
Right.
You don't have to worry about, oh, I get in an accident, isn't my fault, or insurance, or just any of that stuff, like gas maintenance, all the things we talked about. Buying a car itself is a huge ordeal.
Yeah.
The taxes involved, none of that. So now I just take all that stuff off my plate. I don't have to worry about parking anywhere, ever. Maybe if I have a parking spot that comes with my place, I rent it out and make a couple $100 off of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there is something to be said for that. I think downtown San Diego is one of the places that it's a newer downtown, right? This is a newer downtown. I mean, this just started. It's been, 15 years? I mean, 15 years ago, what was it? It was nothing.
Right.
So it's a brand new downtown that's being built in an era where things have changed a lot. Technology's changed. What people want has changed. I think downtown San Diego 20, 30 years from now, people are going to see it and they're going to be like, wow, this is the downtown of all downtowns.
Yeah, you're completely right. I think that there's a lot of exciting things coming to downtown. Downtown is still a relatively new city that has a ton of growth potential. In my opinion, it's a hidden gem, and that's why we opened a new office downtown. That's why we rolled out the I Sell the City brand. About 10 years ago, when I first started selling real estate in downtown, I fell in love with the city. And as the years progressed and as my experience in downtown San Diego real estate became a little bit more in depth, I had a lot of clients telling me, like, George, you know all of the buildings, and there's a lot of different types of inventory downtown. I feel like the options are we have great options. Whether I want to live in a loft building or I want to live in a luxury high rise, the options are there, and what you really do is you sell us on the neighborhood. You sell us on what's coming around the building that we're interested in. You provide information on the future of downtown. In essence, I sell the city, not the condos. I think that if you're looking for a real estate professional to give you a reading on square footage and analyze comps for you, there's many people that could do that, but people should really be looking out for somebody that could give them some insight on what's going on in the new neighborhood that they're about to occupy.
Yeah, no question about that. George, thank you so much for your time today, man.
You're welcome.
Really
Take
appreciate it. We got to let you go so you can go sell the city.
All right, man.
Stick
Take
around
care.
for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.